going through all my cards. Ooh. Okay, let's see.
俺にとってあんたは特別だから。
Woo. Your bedroom. The TV show playing on the tablet is near its finale as the ending slowly rolls in. You can't help but to let out a few yawns before noticing that it's already midnight. It's already this late. I know that I'm on a short vacation now, but I should still sleep early. Nah, you don't. Just as you're about to turn off your light and sleep, you hear a sudden beeping sound from downstairs. What's that sound? You stand suspiciously at the top of the stairs, looking downwards. Listening carefully, you notice that the sound is coming from outside the door. Is someone outside? That doesn't sound right. I should go down and check it out. You decide to head downstairs quietly. The noise gets louder and louder as you gulp and summon the courage to approach the door. What you see on the surveillance monitor sends a shiver down your spine. Recently, there have been news reports about increased theft near the end of the year. Don't tell me. On the monitor, you see a man wearing a cap. You can't make out his face as he's looking down and fiddling with something. Judging by his angle, he must be looking at the digital lock. Oh, I must call the police. Your mind flashes back to the theft cases that had been reported on the news as you fish out your phone from your pocket with trembling fingers. Oh my god, that is frightening. Setting security to the highest level by ensuring that the digital lock will only unlock with your fingerprint, you immediately call the police. To be safe, you turn off all the lights and lock yourself in the bathroom. Sitting in the darkness, time passes by slowly as you watch the seconds tick on your phone. The police said that they would be arriving soon, but seconds feel like hours and hours feel like days as you waited in the dark. It's a sound that you've heard countless times, the digital lock unlocking. They bypassed the digital lock? You can hear your heart pounding in your ears, accompanied by a soft humming. You find it hard to breathe as you wait uneasily for something to happen. After a few seconds, you hear the lock of your door jamming in places. It means that they weren't able to bypass the digital lock. Despite their failure, the lingering fear still makes tears well up in your eyes. Oh my god, yes! You clutch onto your phone, your last remaining lifeline. In that moment of hesitation, you unwittingly dial the first number in your contacts.
もしもし。
He sounds a little drowsy, seemingly having just woken up. Marius? You carefully whisper his name. He might have heard the slight tearful undertone of your voice, for he quickly snaps to attention.
どうした？何かあったのか？
Outside, there is someone outside trying to break in. Marius, can you yell loudly through the phone? Maybe it'll scare them away. The line goes silent for a while, then you hear the sound of fabric rustling. The slam of a door followed soon after.
それでもう通報はしたのか？
Yeah, they are on the way, but my lock won't hold on for much longer.
わかった。まずは落ち着いて。この手の窃盗ってのは大体それなりに準備をしてるはずだ。相手の詳細がわからない以上、今は慎重に行こう。とりあえずどこか鍵のかかる部屋はあるか？
Yeah, I've locked myself in the bathroom.
そうか。さすがだね。
A sigh of relief. Then you hear the sound of an engine starting up.
安心して。10分以内には駆けつけるから。警察と俺、どっちが早いか競争してみようか。
Marius takes a light laugh. His voice makes your panic level out, gradually calming you back down. Be careful on the way here. I'm fine now for now.
もちろん。けど本当に免許を取り上げられたら、その時はお姉さんが埋め合わせしてよね。別に難しいことはお願いしないよ。数日の間、パックスまでの送り迎えをお願いするだけだからさ。
Pax isn't a kindergarten. While you were joking back and forth with him, you suddenly hear a few loud and jarring bangs on the front door. Oh my god. What?
落ち着いて。こんな風にドアを叩くってことは、鍵はまだ大丈夫。
As if to confirm his words, you hear finally the voice that you've been waiting for.
すみません、警察です。どなたかいらっしゃいますか？ドアを開けてください。
No, 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 no. Please. Perhaps there was a lookout downstairs, for the burglars were long gone before the police arrived at the scene. Oh god, okay. Marius arrived 5 minutes after the police. The police were interviewing you in the living room when Marius suddenly comes barging in. Marius? He doesn't respond, instantly rushing to your side. You see him extend his hand, but he hesitantly takes it back just before he reaches you. You notice that his eyes are slightly red. He might have sounded calm over the phone, but now his breathing is erratic and there is panic written all over his face.
遅くなってごめん。
Marius looks quietly at you for a few seconds before letting out a long sigh of relief.
あんたが無事で本当によかった。
Don't apologize. You talked me through it, and I'm already thankful for that. So you quickly respond to him after snapping back to reality, but you suddenly hear someone clearing their throat midway. Oh no, I almost forgot they were interviewing me. I'm sorry. You sit back on the sofa. The two policemen took one look at Marius before sharing a look of understanding with each other.
よかった。彼が来てくれたのなら、私たちも安心して帰れます。
そうですね。最近は同様の事件が増えていますから、一人暮らしをされているお嬢さんは特にお気をつけください。
少しお聞きしたいのですが、これはいわゆる連続犯というやつですか？
Marius walks over, naturally seating himself by your side.
この時代、スマートロックをやすやすと解錠できる泥棒なんてそうはいないでしょう。
ええ。過去に起きた事件の分析によると、これらはかなり計画性のある犯行のようです。彼らは主に古い防犯システムを使っている家を狙い、その脆弱性をついてロックを破っています。
So is their motive money, or the incident has already passed, but you shudder to think of what could have happened to you?
まず我々が掴んでいる情報ですと、相手は犯行前に必ず狙っている目標の下見を行います。そして犯行当時、被害者の多くは 何かしらの理由で家を開けていました。よって我々は犯人の目的は金銭の類であると考えています。
Really? But my work doesn't require me to travel and I come home every day. Listening to you, Marius laughs and gently flicks your forehead.
いくら帰ってるって言っても犯人が帰るまで残業してたらそりゃ勘違いされるよ。
You have a point.
ああ、若いのに苦労されてるんですね。それでは我々は管理会社から防犯カメラの映像をもらってきますので、これで失礼いたします。調査に何か進展がありましたら随時お知らせいたしますね。
Standing up, the policeman pats Marius on the shoulder.
お二人は仲がいいみたいなので、お嬢さんのことしっかり頼みましたよ。
そうですね。陰湿な犯人だと何度も出直してくるケースもあるので、くれぐれも気をつけてくださいね。
はい、わかりました。彼女のことは俺がちゃんと守ります。
An awkward silence hangs between you and Marius after the two policemen take their leaves.
ああ、今日はもう遅いし、そろそろ寝ようか。
Oh my god, you know what? Okay, first of all, I know I will never ever encounter that because I'm not living alone. I hope we will never ever I hope I will never ever encounter that. Okay, first I'm not living alone. I live with my parents, but my family we have 5 people here, and even if I shout, like how do I say? You can hear. They never can hear me. Seriously, like I shout in my bathroom, and then the sounds actually. I can hear that because I can hear them, they can hear me. That is all. Okay. Seriously. Oh my god. That is frightening. You know what? Although yeah, that is frightening. Oh my god. I hope. Oh my god, yeah. Let's continue.
俺はこの近くのホテルに泊まるから、何かあったらすぐに連絡してよ。
Marius turns to leave. But just as he is about to leave, you stop him by the wrist.
どうしたの？
After an internal struggle with yourself, you open your mouth to speak your mind. Don't go, stay. Don't go, stay. Yes, stay, Marius. I mean, like that is threatening. Don't go, stay. Marius stares at you in disbelief as if trying to tell you if you were joking.
本当にいいの？
You nod and continue talking. I have an air mattress and a new blanket if you don't mind. Marius seems to see through your uneasiness and fear. He easily agrees without waiting for you to explain.
わかった。じゃあ今日だけはリビングで泊まらせてもらうよ。その方が俺も安心だし。けど、その代わり一つだけお願いがあるんだけどさ。明日、俺と一緒に出かけてくれない？
Where to?
今のところはまだ内緒。
He winks at you while sounding mysterious. If you don't tell me, then I probably won't be able to sleep all night.
でもいいの？今教えちゃったら、あんたは確実に眠れなくなっちゃうよ。
Even though Marius said that he would tell you tomorrow, you can't help but speculate about it while lying in the bed. Maybe he was bringing you to an amusement park or a public event or the hospital. Instead of the horrible experience you just had, you subconsciously start thinking about the places you might be headed to tomorrow. While speculating, you begin to feel drowsy and fall asleep. It's almost noon when you wake up. Phew, asleep well. You slowly head downstairs and notice that the air mattress had already been put away and the blanket laid neatly folded on the sofa. Marius is standing by the window that spanned from the floor to ceiling, looking as if he was talking with someone over the phone about something important.
ネットを通じてるならきっと痕跡が残ってるはずだ。ビッグデータセンターでなんとか奴らの尻尾を掴んでくる。そうだ、確かパックスでも似たような製品を開発してたよな。そっちのテストの最終段階はいつになるんだ？
Just as you are about to return to your room, Marius turns around at the sound of your entry and spots you.
ああ、それじゃ頼んだ。こっちはまだ用事が残ってるから後でまたかけ直す。
After saying a brief goodbye, he hangs up and smiles at you.
起きたんだ。朝ごはん、じゃなくて昼ごはんを机に置いといた。お腹が空いたら食べて。
You look at the delicious pile of sandwiches on the table. Did you make them?
それはもちろん違うよ。残念ながら料理は苦手なんだよね。だからこれは出前。まあ味はいけると思うから食べたら荷物をまとめて俺と一緒に家に帰ろう。
You had just taken a bite of your sandwich when you heard what he said. You totally forgot to chew and ended up swallowing it straight down. He gives you a glass of water, which you instantly shut down. Where did you say we were going?
俺の家、つまり泉家屋敷だよ。あんたにはそこで数日間滞在してもらう予定だからよろしく。一応聞くけど、今日からはあんたも休みでしょ？もちろん、他に予定があるなら強要はしないけどさ。夜さえ戻ってくれるなら、ね。
He was right, but the more you listen, the more of your doubts grew. But why must I go to your place? I don't think that'd be a good idea. Putting my matter aside, wouldn't it be bad for you if your father saw me?
安心しなよ。ここ最近父さんは用事で家にいないから、使用人たちもみんな休みだし、いるのは執事の吉明さんくらいかな。それに前にも来たことあるでしょ。
But Marius doesn't give you a chance to continue refusing him. At that moment, you see a seriousness in his eyes you've never seen before.
これはあんたの安全のためだ。昨夜の件については藤崎にも動いてもらってるし、警察も手がかりを掴んでるみたいだから解決は時間の問題だと思うけど。
Wow, fast.
それでも今はまだあんたを一人にしておくわけにはいかない。
I could live at a hotel or ask Kiki if I could stay with her for the time being.
うちの客室の方がホテルよりずっと快適だと思うよ。それにどうせ誰かに頼るならこの俺に頼ってよ。
Marius shut down all your suggestions more forcefully than you thought him capable of. And he doesn't give you any more time to think of an excuse either.
あれ？昨夜俺に残ってほしいって頼んだのはどこの誰だったっけ？今度はあんたが俺の頼みを聞く番でしょ。今さら後悔したってもう遅いからな。
I guess so. Seeing your hesitation, Marius goes back to his tried and true method.
お姉さん、今夜は年越しだよ。まさかだけど、俺を一人ぼっちにさせる気？お願いだから、一人にしないで。
You know that he's only acting cute, but it sounds like he is pleading with you, and you're absolutely weak to that. You finally agree after struggling to come to the terms with yourself for a while. After packing your bags, Marius drives you directly to Orchidshire, a well-known villa district of Sailor City. According to rumors, the Von Hagen estate, built by their ancestors, has a long history of nearly 100 years. Because of the Von Hagens have quite the reputation here, it has become one of Sailor's iconic buildings. Those of the older generation said that developers had been drawn to the fame and built numerous villas around the estate, the Von Hagen estate. Although the estate retains its grand traditional style with private forests included, but the interior isn't as grand as you imagine. Unlike the usual extravagance prevalent in the household of the rich, the interior is pretty low-key, which goes to show just how his family really is. It might be as low-key as it can get, but every object here probably has an imaginable price tag attached to it. You carefully follow Marius through the main hall. An old man dressed in a sweet pair of with leather shoes comes to greet you.
ケイボちゃん、お帰りなさいませ。
ただいま、吉明さん。今年もよろしくお願いします。
そんな、とんでもないことでございます。元はといえば、私の役目ですから。
Meeting your confused gaze, Marius introduced him to you.
朝も話したけど、こちらがうちの執事をしてくれている田中義明さん。父さんが若い頃からこの家に仕えてくれていて、もう何十年も前から助けられてきてるんだ。それと、小さい頃の俺や兄さんの面倒を見てくれたのも義明さんだよ。
Ah, hello. The butler smiles kindly at you, and just the sight of him feels like a breath of fresh air.
ようこそ、泉家。あなたはケイボッチャーの大切なお客様ですので、どうぞごゆっくりとおくつろぎください。
その通り。それじゃああとは俺たちでやっておくので、義明さんは先に休んでてください。
ですが、それはあまりよろしくないのでは。
大丈夫ですよ。もともとはそうすべきなので。
かしこまりました。それではお願いいたします。
You have no idea what they're talking about. Before you can ask, Mary smiles at you.
ねえねえ、今日の夕飯はラーメンにしない？それも俺たちお手製のやつ。
So they were talking about making noodles. I've been troubling him since last night. It's time to return the favor. Okay, leave it to me. Ooh, the kitchen. Sorry, I want to see. Oh my god. Okay. Despite your bravado, you have no idea how to make noodle. After watching some tutorial videos, you summon the courage, roll your sleeve up, and begin.
俺も手伝うよ。
No, just stand there and watch.
そんなのダメに決まってるでしょ。こんな大きな生地、一人でこねてたら手を痛めるって。下ごしらえぐらいは俺に任せて。
Okay, then I'll pull the noodles. Mr. Payton had already prepared the dough yesterday. You watch as Marius kneads the dough into an oval before cutting it into. You watch as Marius kneads the dough into an oval before cutting it into even pieces for you. The dough was perfectly fermented, making it soft and elastic. One gentle pull is all it takes to stretch it out. After doing it several more times, the noodles begin to take shape. You twirl your wrist and flick the noodles. You're proudly showing off to Marius. Marius, look, don't I look like professional?
職人さん職人さん、髪に小麦粉がついてますよ。
Marius brushes your hair, wiping the white particles away.
けどあんたの手際は本当にすごかったよ。それこそ自分の店を持てるんじゃないかと思ったくらいにね。
Listening to his praise, you can't help but go along with the joke. Would you invest in me?
もちろん。しかもパックスがまだ力を入れてない分野だし、ちょうどいいんじゃない？名前もつけてあげようか。そうだな。ラーメンやパックスとかどう？シンプルでわかりやすいし。
Wouldn't it be better without the packs?
度胸のあるオーナーだね。スポンサーの名前を取っちゃうなんて。な。
Marius pretends to flick something back at you, as if to return the flower is stuck on his hand. Stop fooling around, the noodles are going to tear. To tear, you giggle while dodging the flour. The flour. The simple melt prep had suddenly turned into a food fight. It makes the task much more difficult, but you feel that moments like this are the most precious. After playing around for a while, you and Marius were still able to complete the meal prep without so much as a hitch. Did we make too much? We can't exactly end up eating noodles for days, can we? You sighed in resignation at the sheer amount of noodles on the table. It was fun making the noodles with Marius, and with him fanning the flames, you ended up incidentally making too much.
気にしないで。残ったら保存すればいいし、無駄にしない方法はいろいろあるからさ。それに、せっかくプロの職人さんに作ってもらったんだから、一食で終わらせるのはもったいないしね。
Stop checking around. You look at the noodles that Marius had covered in a plastic wrap, noticing that many of them were actually uneven. Looks like I need more practice. Practice makes perfect after all. Marius laughs but doesn't respond. After wrapping the rest of the noodles, he stands by and waits for the water to boil.
さっきの話、全部が冗談ってわけでもないんだよね。
Confused, you look at him while pondering about how much noodles to cook. What?
店を持つって話だよ。あくまで原因の一つかもしれないけど、あんたが窃盗犯に狙われたのは帰りがいつも遅いからだ。深夜まで残業してれば、もちろん帰り道だって危ないし、何より体の方が持たなくなる。だからさ、あんたさえ良ければ、俺はいくらでも転職のチャンスを提供するよ。
Marius sounds serious, a stark difference from his usual playful tones. Hence, you look him straight in the eye and solemnly express your thoughts. Marius, thank you for your offer, but being an attorney is my dream. I wouldn't give up on it so easily. And as for safety and health, I'll be more careful next time. Promise. As the hot water begins to boil and steam wafts up, Marius looks down and you can no longer get a clear look at the face he is making. The water is ready. You nervously pick up the noodles and approach him, only to find him with a smile on his face.
そう言うと思ったよ。
Huh?
あんたが賛成するなんて最初から思ってなかったし、そう提案したのはあんたには選択肢が残されてるってことを教えたかっただけだから。いつでも選ぶことができてる。場合によっては避難口にもなる。そんな選択肢がね。
backup plan. You repeat those words in your mind, thinking about why he brought it up. It isn't until you put the noodles on into the pot that something clicks in your head. A backup plan that always there waiting for you. It's something that Marius never had. So isn't that why you insist on giving me a way out?
どうして黙ってるの？もしかして俺怒らせた？
Not at all. You shake your head, not knowing whether it was the steam that was causing your eyes to tear up. Thank you. At first, Marius is surprised by your reaction, but he faces you with a smile once he recovers.
お礼を言うべきなのは俺の方だよ。うちに来てくれてありがとね。
After dinner, you pat your full belly and suddenly realize there is nothing to do. You wonder how big the private forest behind the Von Hagen estate is, so you suggest going for a walk in it. But Marius and Mr. Peter both voice their concerns.
あそこは散策に向いていないので近づかない方がよろしいかと。
Marius pauses for a moment before agreeing with a nod.
そうだね。あそこはもう長いこと手入れされてないし、夜になるとすごく暗い。転びでもしたら大変だ。
They do have a point. It would be dangerous going into the woods and wandering around at night.
せっかく一緒に年越しを過ごせるんだからさ、お姉さんが暇なら少しドキドキすることでもしてみない？
Marius lies half prone on the sofa, looking expectantly at you. A sighting? Like what?
そうだな。一人じゃできないこととか？
What?
うわ、怖い怖い。さすがはランキング入りしてる作品だな。
Marius, is this your idea of exciting?
そうだよ。って、お姉さんはドキドキしてないの？
Marius turns his head slightly away from the screen, pretending to be calm despite the terror written all over his face. Suddenly, another ghost face appears on the screen in a jump scare.
また？
He instantly leans towards you. There is still some distance between you, but you can almost hear his heart pounding. You wanted to comfort him by patting his shoulder, but Marius literally buries his head into your shoulder. Touching his silky hair with your finger was a strange sensation, but it wasn't unwelcome. You quickly pull your hair back, hugging the pillow in your hand to distract yourself. Why choose to watch a horror movie if you're this scared?
だって気になるじゃん。けど一人じゃ見れないし、付き合ってくれる人もいなかったし、あんた来てくれて助かったよ。にしても、あんたはこういうの、本当に平気なの？お姉さん、緊張してるように見えるけど。
There is a hint of mirth in his voice, as if he'd seen through the sudden panic that had been caused by none other than him. You're the one that's scared, but you're making me scared by being scared.
はいはい、俺のせいにしといてあげるよ。それじゃ怖がりな俺のことをしっかりと頼みますね。
Wait, you said you can't find someone to watch them. Why not Aunt Vincent? Marius lowers his voice to a whisper as he shifts closer.
彼はダメだ。それに俺みたいな人間はそうやすやすと弱さを人に見せるわけにはいかないんだ。だからこそこういうことはあんたとしかできないんだよ。あんたは 俺が一緒にホラー映画を見れる唯一の人だよ。
Marius inches closer to you after he said that. Okay, I'll finish watching with you.
この映画だけじゃないからね。他にもいっぱい見たい映画が溜まってるからさ。
Yeah, just call me when you want to watch them. Before you knew it, you and Marius were huddled close together and you could feel the heat radiating off his body.
約束したからね。忘れないでよ。
Out of the corner of your eye, you see his scorching gaze. All you can do is bury your face in your pillow in an attempt to ignore it. The clock strikes midnight, heralding a new day and a new year. Ah, Happy New Year, Marius. Marius looks up at you, his eyes full of joy and pleasure.
あ、明けましておめでとう。
Next act. Guest room. I shouldn't have watched a horror movie before sleeping. It's 2 a.m. You turn on the lights and sit up in bed. Watching that movie has put you on edge and you're not sleepy at all. Oh well, guess I'll go walk around outside. You throw back the covers and get off the bed. You slowly open the door and head outside. The lights are still on in the living room, but it is empty with not a soul to be seen. Just as you're about to pour a glass of water, you hear a voice behind you scaring you right out of your skin.
こんな遅い時間にいかがなさいましたか？
Yes, Mr. Peyton. I didn't know you were still up. Sorry to disturb you. Mr. Peyton shakes his head and smiles.
いえ、明日のために少しだけ仕事をしていただけなので邪魔だなんてめっそうもないです。眠れないのなら温かい飲み物でもご用意いたしましょうか。リラックスできますよ。
Oh, don't worry. I'll get it myself. Is Marius already asleep? Not expecting you to ask that question, Mr. Peyton pauses for a second before nodding his head.
はい。警坊ちゃんはすでにお部屋に戻られたと思いますが、何かご用でしょうか？
No, I was just asking. Mr. Peyton says a few more things before returning to his room. Going to the sofa, you notice an open bottle of raspberry wine on the table. Over dinner, Mr. Peyton mentioned that he'd brewed this wine, but wine doesn't really go on with noodles. I heard that alcohol helps you sleep. You carefully pick up the bottle and pour yourself a small glass of it. Wow, it's delicious. The raspberry aroma fills your nose and the taste is dense and mellow. This one is as good as branded wine sold in the market. You down half the bottle before you notice it. I don't feel anything. The wine doesn't feel strong at all. I'll have one more glass. Last one. So you pour yourself another full glass. After the last glass, you finally feel yourself getting sleepy. Never thought that it helps this way. My god, this is murmuring to yourself. You lay on the sofa as you begin to feel sleepy. Helpless, you can only give into your instinct as your eyes slowly slide shut. In the days, you don't know how much time has passed when you hear the door open. You hear footsteps rushes over to you as if someone had come in from outside.
半分くらいなくなってるじゃん。はあ、このワイン結構強いんだけど。やっぱりあんたは少し警戒心が足りないんじゃない？
Ooh, your body seems to float in the air and you feel a sense of weightlessness. You slowly open your eyes and notice that the ceiling lights are moving. No, it's not the ceiling moving. It's me. You turn your head and hit something hard. Your nose hurts a little, but you can smell a hint of sandalwood. Oh, what is this?
俺の胸だよ。
As he looks down, your eyes meet, and it is a familiar face before your eyes. No, it can't be.
あんたが酔って寝ちゃったって吉明さんから連絡があったんだ。じっとしてて、俺が部屋まで運んであげるから。
I can walk by myself. Put me down.
わかったよ。
You stagger along the hallway, almost tripping over the table next to you.
大丈夫？やっぱり手を貸そうか？
No. He follows closely behind you and laughs.
どこに向かってるの？お姉さんの部屋なら逆方向だけど。
To find Marius.
誰を探すって？
Marius. You point on Marius' bedroom door, but there is no response. Then he speaks again.
泉圭は俺だよ。ほら、ちゃんと俺の顔を見て。
No, don't think you can fool me just because I'm drunk. Mr. Beaton said Marius went back to his room. You came from outside. You can't be him.
酔ってる割に言ってることはもっともだな。
Seeing him speechless, you point on the door once again.
わかったよ。俺が開けてあげる。このまま叩いてたら手を痛めちゃうからね。
Ooh. You hold your hand against the door, staring at the empty room in front of you. Where's Marius?
俺ならここだよ。
Following you into the room, he walks over to you and bends down to face you at eye level.
もう一回ちゃんと見てみて。
You look just like him.
でしょ？
I know, you're the thief that stole his look.
お姉さん、想像力がちょっと豊かすぎません？
I won't believe you, even if you call me Miss. It's no use.
だって、まあいいや。どうせあんたのことをただのお姉さんだなんて思ってないしね。
He laughs, and suddenly there is something strange about him that you can't quite put a finger on. You really aren't Marius. You slowly back up, accidentally tripping over the chair at the foot of the bed and falling flat on your butt.
大丈夫か？
He hurries over and tries to help you up. You seize this rare opportunity, stretching your hands out and pulling him to the ground. You take the chance to go on the offensive while he is least expecting it, flipping him over and getting on top of him. No, you can't get away. You put your hand against the glass window, pinning the fat Marius to the ground. Immobilized, he doesn't move and only stares at you in the daze.
ねえ、このままだといろいろと危ないんだけど。
You're the one in a dangerous position. Tell me, where did you hide Marius? Marius let out a sigh and it brushes and tickles the area around your neck.
心配しないで。あんたがおとなしく一晩眠っていれば、彼はちゃんと帰ってくるよ。
Really?
本当だよ。けど、どうしてそんなに慌てて彼を探してるの？ 言いたいことがあるなら俺を彼だと思って話してみなよ。
His voice is soft and persuasive, almost bewitching and enchanting. The effects of the alcohol makes you dizzy, and it is hard to tell if this person before you is the real Marius. Sorry, I caused so much trouble for you. Next time, I'll be careful. Next time. With heart heavy with guilt, your vision gradually bursts from the tears welling up in your eyes, but you only see him smile through the screen of blurriness.
迷惑なんかじゃないよ。むしろ一番最初に電話をしてくれて俺は嬉しかったんだ。だからこそ気をつけないといけないのは俺の方だよ。特に最近は気を抜きすぎた。ごめん。あんたの仕事を邪魔するつもりはないけど、これからは遅くなるなら連絡してね。俺が迎えに行くからさ。
Yeah. Your headaches get worse and you feel the strength leaving your limbs, leaving you swaying and unbalanced.
それと、もう一つ聞いてもいいかな。
He stares straight at you, eagerly waiting for an answer.
俺のこと好き？
But before he gets his answer, the person in his arm passed out after having used the last of her energy.
大丈夫？
He hears her steady breathing and looks down to find her fast asleep, buried into the crook of his neck.
こんな肝心な時に寝ちゃうなんてな。
Marius smiles, shaking his head. He reaches out and wipes the tears away from the edge of her eyes.
まあでも、あんたさえ無事ならそれでいいか。おやすみ。また明日。
Next act. Guest room. The next morning, you wake up with a sweaty forehead underneath heavy covers. You throw open the covers to reveal that you hadn't changed into pajamas last night. Last night? You can only remember bits and pieces from last night, but you instantly understood why that was so. You accidentally got drunk from drinking too much last night. I must apologize for causing them trouble.
別にいいよ。ソファーで寝てるあんたを部屋に運んだだけで誰にも迷惑なんてかかってないから。
Really? Marius smiles at you, looking very sure of himself. But is there a slight mismatch with what you do remember of the prior day? But I remember going to your room last night, and you weren't there.
警坊ちゃん、お嬢さん、お昼の用意ができましたよ。
Mr. Beaton calls lightly, notifying us his presence as he calls us to the table laid out with food. Marius nods and smiles at me.
新しい一年を迎えたことだし、過ぎたことはもう気にしない。ってことで、もうご飯にしようよ。ね。
Okay. Although they didn't mention anything, but you're still concerned about what happened last night. You remember going to Mary's room and him not being there. You also remember that he came from outside. If that's the case, then where did Marius go so late at night? I'm still worried. I should pay more attention tonight. At 11 p.m., you quietly slip out of your room and head over to Marius. Marius shouldn't be asleep yet, but I'm not sure if he's in his room. You're unsure of whether you're hoping he's there or not. Last night might have just been an exception. Either that or you remembered it wrongly, but you can't ignore this feeling. So you hesitate before gently knocking on his door. A minute passes and there's no answer. Is he not in? Or did he sleep early? Just as you're hesitating whether to turn the handle to check inside, you hear footsteps nearby and turn to find Mr. Peyton slowly walking towards you from the other end of the corridor. Mr. Peyton? With a book in hand, he politely nodded at you before opening the door to Mary's room without saying anything. But it was pitch black inside and also empty.
先ほど私の方にもノックの音が聞こえましてね。やはり昨夜のことが気になりますか。同じ屋敷にいるのですから異変に気づいてしまうのも仕方のないことだと思います。
Mr. Peyton, can you tell me where Marius went?
申し訳ありませんが、それはお教えできかねます。警坊ちゃんもきっとあなたに隠し事をしたいわけではないと思います。ですが、この屋敷には破ってはならない掟があるのです。
Yeah, I understand. You lower your head in disappointment, but what Mr. Peyton sees next lifts your spirit back.
その代わりといってはなんですが、あるものをお渡ししておきます。その中になら、あなたが求めている答えがあるかもしれません。
He hands the book in his hands to me. You realize that this old book is actually a picture book. On the cover, you see cartoon drawings, and it looks like a little tattered. Opening the book, you see that some pages had been torn out. You can make out a hand-drawn story from the pages that were left. A boy lives together with his family in the big villa, living a carefree lifestyle with nary a worry. But behind the villa is a forest, hiding a scary place. His brother would always come back crying, muffling his sobs. His father would avoid talking about it, never letting him loose. One day, the little boy summoned the courage to charge into the forest to extinguish the demon for his family. But when he walked into the forest, that's the end of the picture book. There doesn't appear to be an ending. Marius, you whisper his name as it's written on the picture book. From the words and the handwriting, it appears he made this when he was a kid. Darkness envelops the deep forest, and the path was barely illuminated by the faint rays of moonlight. The forest behind the Von Hagen estate is much larger than you've imagined. You carefully tread on. If the picture book described his autobiography, then why isn't there's ending? I'm more worried about Marius. I should find him quickly. You take a deep breath and continue onward, following the small path and venturing deeper into the forest. You eventually spot a light in the distance. Looks like you finally found him. Illuminated by candlelight, you find Marius standing before a structure that appears to some kind of ancestral hall. His attention is focused on the tablet in front of him, looking solemn and glum. Seemingly having heard your footsteps, he turns his attention to you.
どうしてここに？
In an environment like this, you can't help the nerves, and you try to keep your voice down. Sorry, I couldn't find you in your room, so I came looking for you. I saw the picture book, so I guess that maybe you might be here.
そんな緊張しなくてもいいよ。この辺は確かにちょっと不気味だけど、別に怖いものとかはないからさ。けど、スケッチブックって言った？
It looks like something you made from your childhood. It depicts a little story about the devil who lives in the wood.
ああ、あれね。
After hearing your explanation, Mary sighs helplessly.
あれはとっくの昔に捨てたものだよ。あんたが見たってことはおそらく、吉明さんあたりが拾ったんだろうな。
Marius, I'm a little curious. Why is there no ending to your story? You feel like there must be some reason why Mr. Peyton gave that picture book to you.
それは、俺の勘違いだったからだよ。悪魔なんてのは存在しなかったからね。書かれた怖い場所ってのも、ここのことだよ。
But isn't this place... You have a faint inkling of the answer in your heart.
ここは泉家の御霊屋だよ。もちろん、母さんの位牌も祀られてる。
Ancestral Hall, then... He noticed your restraint but doesn't seem to share the same. His focus returns to his mother tablet. In the candlelight, his eyes were filled with nostalgia as is he remains
こっそり来てみて分かったんだけど、兄さんの涙も、父さんの沈黙も、ここが原因だったんだ。ということもあって、俺はあれ以上書き続けられなかった。
He took a deep breath and slowly tells you the ending to the story.
母さんが亡くなったのは俺のせいなんだ。俺を産んだせいで母さんは体調を崩した。だから結局みんなを不幸にした悪魔ってのは俺のことかもしれないんだよな。
Marius' words shocks you to the core. You feel that any words of comfort would be meaningless. But unexpectedly, you find him smiling when he turns back to face you.
ごめん、お姉さんは心配しなくていいよ。俺は反省しに来てるだけで自分を責めたりはしてないから。
Introspection? Why?
せっかくもらった命を無駄にせず、自分を信頼してくれる人たちを失望させないよう、今後も精一杯生きなきゃなって。そう、自分を戒めるためにね。そして最も重要なのは、大切な人をちゃんと守るぞっていう誓いを立て直すことかな。
The wind blows and moonlight shines through the branches, illuminating the glowing galaxy hidden in his eyes. Marius, look like you haven't done enough introspection.
え？
Protection goes both ways. You need to give someone else a chance to protect you too. You take his hand in yours, which are unexpectedly colder than you imagined, and a stark contrast to his warm smile. You rub them together and blow on them to warm them up. Please tell me when you came out here next time. Don't shoulder everything alone. Plus, it's so cold here.
うん、そうするよ。確かに冷えてきたし、もう連れて帰ってくれる？
He rubs his fingers against your palm, and you can sense the subtle vulnerability and dependence in his voice. Yeah, I'll lead the way back. Following your lead, Marius walks by your side.
迎えに来てくれたお礼にいいこと教えてあげよっか。あの不法侵入の容疑者だけど、今晩捕まったらしいよ。
Finally, I'm relieved to hear that.
だね。 それと今後はパックスも警察と協力してステラ市の防犯システムを強化する計画を立てたから、あんたの住んでる地域もその思考エリアに指定しておいたし、これでようやく家に帰してあげられるよ。
Let me, why do you make it sound like I'm in prison? Now that you don't have to be scared about living alone, you can't help but to crack a joke. Were you prepared to use more forceful method if I didn't come willingly?
そうかもな。
Mary's voice sounds by your ear familiar yet strange. At the lost forest, you continue leading him back home. After a while, you hear bursts of laughter.
冗談だってば。
That's not funny. You sounded serious. Just as you said that, you see the lights coming from the Van Hagen estate in the distance. We're almost there, Mary. Mary suddenly pulls you back just as you turn. It takes you by surprise and you fall backwards into a warm embrace. He reaches around you, the soft end of his hair tickling against your ear.
連れて帰ってくれてありがとう。来年も一緒にいてくれると嬉しいな。
Yeah. You didn't know when it started snowing, but it looked like beautiful fantasy under the bright moonlight. At that moment, you feel that this should be the true ending to the picture book. Next act. The Van Hagen estate. The next morning, Marius is in the kitchen early. He takes out the noodles that Peyton had previously stored and prepared boiling water to cook them.
警坊ちゃん、やはりお手伝いしましょうか。
Worried that Marius will hurt himself with his awkwardness around the kitchen, Peyton offers his assistance.
大丈夫。これくらいなら俺でもできますよ。あの日も彼女のやり方を観察してたし、余裕です。今まではずっと義明さんに任せっきりだったけど、本来こういうのは俺たち若者の仕事なので気にしないでください。
ですが、警坊ちゃん、お言葉ですが、そちらの麺をお作りになった彼女は、泉家とは何の関係もない、いわば他人でございます。小麦粉で作る食事をご先祖様に捧げるのは、長年に及ぶ泉家の伝統です。その工程を他人に任せたとなると。
Noticing Peyton hesitance, Marius suddenly laughs.
彼女のことを本当に他人だと思っているなら、どうしてあのスケッチブックを見せたんですか？
それは申し訳ございません。
With the water boiling now, Marius carefully puts the noodles into the pot and looks at Peyton, who is speechless.
謝らないでください。むしろ俺が義明さんにお礼を言わないといけないくらいなんですから。あのスケッチブックを彼女が現れる日まで取っておいてくれて本当にありがとうございました。けどあれはもう俺が預かりますね。そのうち御霊山まで持って行って燃やしておきます。
燃やしてしまうのですか？
Peyton cannot contain his surprise, but Marius seems content with his decision.
はい。男の子は森から出てきたし、スケッチブックに書かれた物語も完結しました。だから、スケッチブックにない物語を書いていくためにも、しっかりと過去には別れを告げておこうかと思いまして。
かしこまりました。ではすぐに持ってまいります。
As Peyton turns to leave, Marius mumbles out the question.
母さんが生きていたら、彼女のことをきっと気に入ってくれますよね。
Hearing this, Peyton stops and nods with a smile.
ええ、ご心配なさらずとも大丈夫かと思います。 奥様はお優しい方ですから、きっとケイ坊ちゃんの意思を尊重なさるでしょう。それにケイ坊ちゃんは旦那様とよく似ていらっしゃる。ケイ坊ちゃんが思いを寄せているのであれば、きっと素晴らしいお方なのでしょう。
そう言ってもらえてよかったです。今度また機会があったら、次は正式に彼女を紹介させてください。
After getting up, you head downstairs to the living room just as Marius comes back inside. There is the chill of the morning dew lingering on his body, but his smile is as warm as the sun.
おはよう。朝食はもう食べた？身支度が済んだら声をかけて。家まで送るから。
Oh, alright. You nod, still feeling a little apprehensive. Marius, did you go there again?
でも心配しないで。ただお供え物を置きに行ってきただけだから。でも今回はちょっと遅かったかな。ご先祖の皆さん怒ってないといいんだけど。
I see. Wait, something feels off. Shocked, you look at Marius. If you remember correctly, this is the first time he has mentioned that. Worshipping ancestors. Marius, do you usually worship your ancestors over the new year?
そうだよ。うちは年末年始、ご先祖様を祀るしきたりがあるからね。
I see. So that's why.
その通り。それじゃああとは俺たちでやっておくので、吉明さんは先に休んでてください。
ですが、それはあまりよろしくないのでは。
Mr. Beaton, can you tell me where Marius went?
申し訳ありませんが、それはお教えできかねます。ケイ坊ちゃんもきっとあなたに隠し事をしたいわけではないと思います。ですが、この屋敷には破ってはならない掟があるのです。
You finally understand what that strange feeling you felt back then was. As depicted in literature, every family has their own set of rules and traditions to adhere to. The fact that all of the staff were on vacation might also have something to do with these rules. So outsiders aren't permitted to be here while worshipping the ancestors. Marius, why didn't you tell me sooner? It was definitely against the rules when I entered your family's ancestral hall of my own accord last night. While avoiding your gaze, you noticed Mr. Peter smiling while helplessly shaking his head. But Marius doesn't seem to care.
教えなかったのはまさに、こんな風に気を使わせたくなかったからだよ。しきたりなんてのは全部人が決めるものだし、そんな気にしなくてもいいって。
Man, your sisters must be rolling in their grief right about now.
大丈夫だよ。みんな優しくて心の広い人ばっかりだから、そんなことで怒ったりしないさ。それに。
The smiles disappeared from Mary's face and he looks at you earnestly, his eyes sincere and passionate.
あんたを屋敷に入れたことは、別にしきたりを破ったことにはならないと思うよ。あんたは唯一、俺が家に連れ帰った人間だからね。その意味、ご先祖様たちもきっと理解してくれたはず。
The heck, Marius! Oh my god, they dancing around this topic so much. Why just you couldn't ask her now? Oh my god. Yeah, whatever. We're dating now.
俺にとってあんたは特別だから。
The violent beating of your heart completely eviscerates from your previous fears. You don't care about those rules, you only care about what he thinks. Afterwards, Marius sends you home by car. You thought that life would return to normal after this brief incident. But there is one small difference, which is outside the law firm. Working late into the night, the cold wind that blows straight at your face wakes you right up, making you shrink into your jacket. As you leave the firm, a familiar shadow leaning on your car waves at you from a distance. Marius? He jogs over to you, rubbing his nose that had turned slightly red from the cold he smiled.
お疲れ様。家まで送るよ。
But didn't I tell you that I was taking a taxi home? I already called one. His presence completely catches you by surprise. Wait, where is the taxi? The driver said he was almost here.
彼ならもう帰ってもらったよ。お仕事を横取りしたお詫びに2倍の運賃を渡してね。こんな遅くに知らない人の車に乗るなんて危険でしょ？だから俺が送ってあげるよ。
But...
でもじゃないよ。この間はお姉さんのお願いを聞いてあげたでしょ。だから今度は俺のお願いも聞いてよ。
Marius takes your hand and puts it in his pocket. The warmth of his body spreads from your fingertips to the rest of your body. It warms your heart. You sniffles from the cold and nod quietly. Okay, thanks.
任せて。
He leads you to where he parked his car. Your fingers interlock with each other inside his pocket. Horror sight. Oh my god.
あ、ごめん。急に電話して返信がなかったから焦ってさ。いや、特に用事はないよ。寝る前にちゃんと戸締まりしてって言いたかっただけ。また何かあったらすぐ連絡してね。何？なんで笑うの？何度も言うけどさ、防犯システムがあっても油断しないでよ。いい？まあ、俺がいるうちは何かあってもすぐ助けに行くよ。甘えん坊？俺が？まあ、自覚はあるけど、確かに最近はそうかもね。それで気を悪くさせちゃった？本当に？別に気を使わなくていいよ。俺も気にしてたからさ。最近少し落ち着きがないなって。そんな驚くこと？俺も最近は余裕がないんだよ。とりわけあんたのことになるとさ。なんでもないよ。それよりなんか疲れてる？また遅くまで残業してたの？遅くなるときは言って迎えに行くから。あんた一人じゃ心配だよ。平気だよ。あの防犯システムはパックスが開発したものだし、ついでに機能点検もしときたかったから。どう？いいでしょ？けどあまり無理しないでよ。もし今の仕事が大変だったらうちに転職してもいいからね。冗談だよ。あんたには夢があるもんね。俺はそれを尊重する。でももしある日さ、あんたが疲れちゃったりくじけた時は俺を頼ってね。前にも言ったように俺はあんたの選択肢だ。それを忘れないでね。おやすみ。
Okay, let's watch. Seriously, this is the first time we saw Rosas. Sorry, I don't want. We saw Rosas drunk. Well, me. Okay, so what is it? Orchid Shrine is the birthplace of ancient stylists, which relied on Stylus River for inland navigation. There are historic and traditional landmarks in the area. Among them, Orchid Shrine Street is the most famous tourist attraction. To protect the traditional landmarks and ecological environment in Orchid Shrine, stylists opted out of transforming Orchid Shrine during the recent industrialization. Orchid Shrine's proximity to Cloudbreak Mountain and Stylus River has made it one of the most popular residential areas. Many real estate developers built numerous villas here, and South Orchid Shrine gradually became the most famous high-end residential area in the Stylus. Owning a villa in South Orchid Shrine is a symbol of status and wealth. It is also worth mentioning that the Von Hagen's ancestral home, a traditional landmark with 5 courtyards, is situated near Orchid Shrine Street. It should come as no surprise that the Von Hagen estate is located in South Orchid Shrine. The residence, built by its ancestor, has a long history, over 100 years old. Because of the Von Hagens has quite the reputation, people call it the Von Hagen estate. The Von Hagen estate has undergone many renovations, but it still retains its grand traditional style and is one of the landmark buildings in Stylus. Okay, that is all. I might go live tonight for Nakabeza, but yeah, maybe